Y'all, let me tell you something. If there's one thing that can keep folks up at night, it's the thought of affording both retirement and health care. You ever sit down with a stack of bills and think, how am I supposed to manage all this and still have something left for my golden years? If you've been there, you're not alone. Today, we're walking and talking about something that might just help ease those worries, a health savings account or HSA. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that just for like medical expenses? And yes, you're right, but also no. An HSA is like one of those fancy Swiss Army knives. You might see the blade, but there's a whole lot more tucked away if you know how to use it. And here's the big question we're tackling. Can you really use an HSA for retirement? And spoiler alert, the answer is a big old yes. And by the time we're done here, you'll see why. Hi, I'm Paw, and if you're new around here, welcome. I like to keep things simple and plain spoken, especially when it comes to money. So grab a glass of sweet tea or coffee. It's pretty cold, so coffee might be better right now. And let's dive into the world of HSAs. We're busting myths, crunching numbers, and figuring out if this little-known tool might be the unsung hero of retirement planning. Now, when folks hear HSA, their first thought is usually, isn't that just for paying medical bills? And sure, that's one way to use it. But that's like having a sports car and only using it to drive to the grocery store. An HSA has so much more potential if you know how to unlock it. What's an HSA anyway? Let's start with the basics, okay? An HSA, well, it's a special savings account that you can open if you're on a high-deductible health plan. Now, I know high-deductible sounds a little scary, and it used to make me nervous too, but stick with me. These accounts come with some of the best tax benefits out there. We're talking about the holy grail of savings, the triple tax advantage. First, your contributions are tax deductible. That means you're saving money on taxes just by putting money into the account. Second, the money grows tax-free, so every penny that you invest, it stays in the pot and it keeps growing over time. And third, when you use the funds for qualified medical expenses, those withdrawals are tax-free too. That's 3 ways that Uncle Sam stays out of your wallet. Can your 401k or IRA do all that? No. Why didn't I know about this sooner? Well, let me tell y'all, I wish I'd have known about HSAs years ago. I'll be honest, like a lot of folks, I thought they were just a way to cover prescriptions or copays. But when I started digging deeper, I realized how much I'd actually been missing out on. If I'd started using an HSA earlier, I could have been miles ahead by now. But hey, better late than never, right? All right, let's talk numbers. Right now, the annual contribution limit is $3,850 for individuals and $7,750 for families. And if you're over 55, you can throw an extra $1,000 in. It's called a catch-up contribution. Those numbers might not seem huge, but let's talk about what they can grow into. If you max out your contributions every year for 20 years and invest that money with an average annual return of 6%, you could end up with over $150,000. And that's just for one person. If you and your spouse both have HSAs, you can double that. Now you compare that to a traditional retirement account like a 401k or an IRA, and don't get me wrong, those are great, but they don't have that triple tax advantage. Let's dig deeper into how you can truly make the most of your health savings account. Remember, this isn't just a fund for today's medical bills. It's a long-term savings powerhouse if you know how to use it. Step 1, don't use it right away. First, if you can swing it, try not to dip into your HSA every time you have a medical expense. Cover those costs out of pocket and let your HSA funds grow. Think of it as planting a tree. The less you disturb it, the more time it has to grow into something big and sturdy for the future. Step 2 is invest in your funds. Most HSAs offer investment options like mutual funds or ETFs. Treat your HSA like a mini retirement account. The sooner you start investing, the more your money can grow over time. It's like giving your savings an extra boost without lifting a finger. Step 3 is save your receipts and reimburse later. Now here's where it really gets interesting, and this is a game changer, y'all. Did you know that there's no time limit on when you can reimburse yourself for medical expenses with your HSA? As long as the expenses were incurred after you opened your HSA and you've kept all your records, you can reimburse yourself for years or even decades later. Think about this. Let's say you pay for a $500 medical expense out of pocket today. Instead of pulling that money out of your HSA, you leave it in there and you let it grow. Maybe 10 or 20 years down the line, that $500 that you didn't touch has grown into, say, $1,500 or more. And when you're ready, you can still withdraw that $500 tax-free using those old receipts. That's the power of time and compounding interest working in your favor. But here's the catch. You've got to stay organized. Those receipts are your proof, your golden ticket to that tax-free reimbursement. Without them, you're out of luck. This is one small step that can save you a lot of headaches and maximize the value of your HSA over the years. HSAs work best when paired with your 401k or your IRA. Use these accounts to save for everyday living expenses in retirement and let your HSA handle the healthcare costs. This way, you're spreading out the risk and you're maximizing your savings. And here's a little known fact. Once you hit age 65, you can use HSA funds for anything, not just medical expenses. You'll pay the regular income tax on non-medical withdrawals, but it's still a great option for extra retirement income. If you're lucky enough to stay healthy, that money can go towards travel, hobbies, or spoiling your grandbabies. What's the catch? Now, I know some of y'all might be thinking, Papa, this sounds too good to be true. Well, there are a few catches. First, you need to be on a high-deductible health plan to qualify for an HSA. Second, the contribution limits they're not as high as other retirement accounts. And third, you've got to stay organized. Those receipts I mentioned earlier, don't lose them. They're your golden ticket to tax-free withdrawals. So can you really use a health savings account for retirement? Absolutely. But like any tool, it's all about how you use it. Treat it like the powerful savings vehicle it is, and it might just become one of your best tools for retirement planning. If this video gave you a new perspective on HSAs, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Are you using an HSA? Have you got questions about how to get started? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And remember, y'all, every little step towards retirement counts. Thanks for stopping by Ask Pawpaw. Let's keep working together to make those golden years shine.